he's wasting his time in this company, for nothing, right? Yeah.
That was yesterday, Platinum.
I do want to say, though, I do want to mention one point.
That's my rant. That's it. Just had to get it out there.
I do want to mention one point, though. In business, or whenever you're trying to do like a takeover or whatever, things do develop in time. There are strategic plans that people do.
Right.
So the snowball rolls as thing goes. Like sometimes you got to wait a week, and then something else happens, and then by that time you see a price go from $2 to $4 to $6, and then it gets leaked out to the press, and then retail finds out. And that's what Roaring Kitties did. And I get what you're saying, Platinum, that it isn't the same. Nothing's the same ticker, right? But there are things that people don't know that are going on behind the scenes. And potentially, I'm not saying 100%, there could be something going on. I think that, I can't say no and I can't say yes. But
they literally had a baby auction yesterday.
Right, but
for the
IP, so it's like the entire.
You don't even know the facts, Platinum. So I don't even know how you have an argument. Listen, I'm out here. I'm
co-host in here because literally, calm down, take a breath.
Dilly, you interrupt every single person that has spoken up here. Do you not understand?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Dilly. Then you wonder why nobody likes you and all this because you create drama and you create this for yourself.
All right,
that's unnecessary.
He's not wrong.
Deflection and projection is what you lead to when you know that you're wrong. It's just facts.
This is the problem, okay?
Why don't you guys give me a shot, do a wave if you guys hate me? Just so
I don't think anybody hates you. I don't think that's the case. I think that the problem stems from when someone and look, I hate to throw you out there, Platinum, but the problem stems from when someone like you who is obviously invested in GameStop has no position in Bed Bath & Beyond. Has apparently knows everything going on with the company. There's people
I never said I knew anything. I never said I knew everything. I just like to talk about it and look into it.
But you use these condescending tones when you say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. I honestly don't mean to.
Wait, who's condescending? Who's
condescending? He said I am.
Because you use these tones they already did the baby sale yesterday. That's not correct.
She's asking questions, dude.
Right.
She's just asking questions.
No, I understand that, but it's you're presenting it almost like it's a fact.
The baby auction was yesterday, wasn't it?
That's incorrect. They sold their IP and now they have a secondary auction for it. It even says it in the filings. We read the filings every day. We read every docket that comes out. You understand that, right?
Okay.
Hey guys.
All right.
I don't think
so wasn't the baby auction yesterday? I mean, I thought it was, right? And then they extended it. We didn't know it was going to be extended for another week, right?
It was for the
or
IP,
did we?
Hey, guys, so I can.
We're still doing the wave thing.
Did we already know that?
Yeah, we can still do the wave
thing.
So
I can change. I can change the subject here and talk about something else if you guys want.
We can still do the wave.
All right.
Yeah, that's
so I just want.
Wait, I'm still looking for the waves. So, all the people that hate me, please put the waves up.
Hold on. Wait, can we just clarify?
So much drama.
If the baby auction was supposed to be yesterday or not? Because I honestly did think it was supposed to be yesterday.
So
can anyone just clarify?
Yesterday, and then the rest of baby will be on the 7th. Thank you. Basically.
Check Google.
Okay. I'm gonna give my spiel, okay? All right. So I just want to kind of talk about it from a different angle, specifically just the market structure and the data. Everybody is hung up on, is a deal going to get done? Is RC involved? Is Carl involved? Who cares? I want to talk about the GME similarities that we all have lived through for 2 years. And that's 10% of all trades before it went to OTC hit the NASDAQ. It was 90% off exchange and through dark pools. It has currently 75 million in short interest. Nobody has any idea what the true free float is. We have speculations. We know that there's 740 million as a potential for the total shares outstanding, but I don't care about either of those things. Seed & Company has 780 million that they said that they have on the bankruptcy document. I'll talk about failure to deliver. So they had 300 million in short volume on the end of April. It was by far 5 times above and beyond the all-time high short volume. And those failure to delivers, which is already at an all-time high, would be coming with T+2 plus 35 on this next updated settlement report, which I think is either Friday or Monday. From an open interest perspective, there's 250K open interest on the 50 cent to $2 calls. There's a ton of people who are going to exercise those calls if we go north of 50%. And then I just wanted to call it one last thing. So the same puts that we see on all the other basket stocks, the January 21 puts that rolled the January 23 that we've all seen on GameStop, that same thing exists on BBBY. And there's 100,000 on both the $1 and $2 strike points of puts, which, yes, they're now in the money, but for years they were not in the money. And all I'm trying to say is that's where the short interest is. Like that's the same thesis. It's not tinfoil. It's the same thing that GameStop has, and they're rolling it from January of 21 to January 23 to January 25, which is where it is now. So all of the data related stuff is the reason why I'm all in on BBBY. Like I don't care if it's a $1 billion transaction for baby or a $2 billion transaction for baby. I don't care. They have obligations, and the failure to delivers are too much. They're not going to be able to deal with the hundreds of millions of shares that I think retail owns. I don't know. That was kind of my spiel.
I think Squeezes is next.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna drop, but I just want to say that I am sorry if I have like hurt anyone's feelings through all of this. Somebody that is a mental health advocate and an advocate for retail investors, and I am just really disappointed with.
Is anyone talking, or is it just me? I can't. I just came back. Is anyone talking?
And
or is that a bad connection?
Yeah,
Dilly is.
Oh, Dilly's talking.
Really
Dilly, can I just bring you down, bring you right back up, real quick? Because I can't hear you.
Not right now.
Hold on. I think she's leaving, James. So just let her.
Oh, okay.
Chat for
It just,
yeah,
a minute.
I got about 50 GMs, so I can't go into everyone's DMs. So I'm not gonna respond to any DMs right now. But
I just want to get this out, and then I'll fucking leave.
James, 1 minute. Just give her 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It just really hurts my heart that like there is any sort of like cruelty towards others, because it's a fucking trading. Like, we should all be on each other's side, and I considered a lot of you my friends, and it's really disheartening and has been really difficult for me in my life with the amount of backlash that I've gotten just because I ask questions. And I just think that we can do better. I think that we should expect better from one another. And this world has so much negativity and hate in it already that we just don't need to be at each other's throats. And we're better than this. And I've never intentionally tried to hurt anybody here. And I'm sorry if you've perceived me as doing so. And that's all I have to say. I'm sorry for whoever fucking hates me.
Bro. I think Squeezes is next.
Okay, so I couldn't hear Dilly. I have bad connection. So can I hear anybody else speak?
Hello, you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
And so is there a lot of hands up? Again, I can't bring up. I'm trying to bring up speakers. People are getting removed. I'm getting blamed for removing speakers. It's not me. I can't bring them up. My thing's frozen. So I'm doing the best I can here. And I'm also getting a lot of DMs, and I can't react to every single DM. I got about 35 DMs. It's crazy. All right, who has the hand up first? Anybody?
I think Squeezes is next.
Squeezes, okay. Yep, Squeeze, you're on the air with Larry Gleck.
Okay, I guess he's not.
I can't hear anybody.
Silvo?
Hey guys, I just wanted to. We were talking about options on Bed Bath and Beyond and the puts, and I just wanted to bring up, with the whole fails to deliver and the options, and when we got delisted, they can't write new options anymore. So like all of these existing options is what there is. So I've really been thinking to myself for some time now, what happens when the next big failure to deliver cycle or swaps come due, and there's a large amount of share obligations that can't be delivered through just buying a call and a put and exercising. I mean, because I feel like that's largely what we've seen in the past. Um, Especially, you go back and look at April 19th, you'll see it shoots up to 50 cents, and the option volume on the day is pretty large. The volume on that day was 962 million, and the stock moved an entire 16-cent range. Wow, I know. Uh, I just think that there's a lot more to the eye than what we see here. And if you look at the volume when it drops off to over the counter, it's just completely insignificant. So I think the removal of options has made.
I just want to jump on there too, Silvo. Thanks for bringing that up because I actually wrote it down and I totally forgot to touch on it. So one interesting thing, like someone else brought up, every single time, like assuming that synthetic locates are a thing, which we all think there are, every single time that there is going to be an option expiry, those are synthetic locates that they're going to have to go out and find a new share for that they're not going to be able to because they don't exist. On the same side, they lose that selling down pressure because they can't open up new puts and exercise them right away if they wanted to. So like I really feel like the lack of options or the market makers, short hedge funds, ability to abuse them really is going to be a big player in, again, regardless of what the free float is, but where the price goes.
Yeah, that's kind of been my observation, or at least what I believe is going to happen is they're just, it seems like they can, maybe these failure to delivers could be rolled over and over and over again by going failure to deliver into options, failure to deliver into options, but now there's just no options. The only things that are left are the ones that are held. And I'm really curious now to see, because we've only been trading OTC for about 2 months. I think that there's a lot of time still to see what's going to happen. That 900 million traded in a day. I think anyone here would be foolish to believe that's all retail. I know I traded that day. I'm sure a lot of people didn't trade that day, but 962 million is an obscene amount. And I don't think there's an explanation for it that is apes move markets. That's just not what it is.
And worth noting too, so like I called out, there's 250,000 open interest from $2 and below on the call side. There is a large amount of open interest on the put side, but in totality, just talking about the gamma ramp in general. So when you're at $2.50 strike point, it's pretty even in terms of the total amount of puts and calls that are there. It's not until the higher strike points that the calls vastly outweigh the amount of puts that are there. But I just wanted to call that out because I just basically talked about the calls on the first time.
What date are you looking at? Like what expiration?
Just all open.
What do you mean all? Oh, like total until 2025?
Yep.
Cumulative?
Yep. Specifically because no new ones can be open. Like there's no new rolling, there's no new hedging, it is what it is. And that's why I kind of made the, I don't know, educated assumption, I guess, that the January 21 puts to the January 23 puts to the January 25 puts, there's a lot of short interest there. But anyways, that's the point I was trying to make.
I also just want to throw in here real quick before we go to the next person. There's actually surprisingly still a spread on some of these calls for January 2024 for the $40 and $42 strike. There is a bid for $1 and an ask at $2 on these still. And I don't know why. I just find that very amusing because that means that, the only people that can buy these now are people who have a position to close. And someone's still afraid of $40. I think that's kind of, I don't know, it's just a little hilarious in my eyes. Anyways, whoever's next.
All Hollows is next.
Yo. Cheers. Thanks for having the space. I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. I just wanted to, I guess, change up what I was going to say and say thank you to MJL for like how you're speaking is how you educate. And from what Platinum, I think is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Platinum, I don't hear any kind of, I guess, anger towards the questions. I just hear questions. They're discoveratory. I'm the same way. I know James is as well. And by the way you teach, I mean, I have no stake in the game. I don't own it. Uh, but it's educating me. So that way of doing it, man, is the way you should do it.
Why
So I
wouldn't you
appreciate
buy
it, man.
the shares?
And again, right there, that kind of, even that kind of ridicule, it can make someone feel bad about not owning the shares.
I bought
Right,
11,000 shares today. I just wanted to tell everybody. I don't know.
But I guess just kind of see it from both angles, man. Like Platinum is just trying to ask questions because she's very smart. She likes to dig into a lot of things, and it's not anything personal against anyone. It is just a, hey, I would like to find out for myself. And if you know about this, what's your source? And it might come off as, I guess, harsh, but it's just a question. And it's just very odd to see the hostility for wanting to learn. So, MJL, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you running the spaces, man. I think it's great that more people should be aware of what's going on. So to the host, I think that's James Drew. Appreciate you hosting it, man.
Yeah. I'm just trying to do something. So I told James, you got about 35, 40 DMs on getting swears, I'm doing the best I can here. I'm trying to learn, right? And I don't need people saying, what the fuck, James? You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm trying the best I can here. There's 130, 140 people in here. And I want to know, and I have an open mind, right? I'm not bashing anybody, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't do that to retail. I never did, never will. And I think, the bottom line is, the way I feel is that no one knows, right? And I think the way Roaring Kitty made an investment at that early, no one was buying in. Period.
Right.
Okay. The majority of people. Okay. Maybe there's like a handful.
There was
right?
like a very small subreddit
Right.
with but super hardcore people.
Right.
Yeah.
But in general, in business, right, things do develop. You got connections, you got resources, right? There's sometimes going to be strategic plans. Like you just can't say things publicly and go on a podium and go, Ryan Cohen is buying Bye Bye Baby. You just can't do that. So I think, there could be, like I'm saying, there's possibly that there could be something going on behind closed doors that no one knows about. And I support retail if they're in this position. I'm not going to bash anyone for being in it. And I hope the fuck they win. I really, truly, that's how I feel. And when it was brought to my attention, the space call last night, I had the fucking goosebumps because I'm like, I didn't know all this, right? I wasn't educated on it. I'm in GME, but that's okay. That's what I have for a stock. But you know what I mean? I think that no one's going to come up to me and say, hey, James, you got the worst stock. And I'm not going to go up to someone that's in BBBY and go, hey, you got the worst. Because
right.
you know what I mean? So I just want to learn and have fun, man. Last night was a beautiful space. And people that have done a lot of fucking DD, a lot of digging, they have clues and I want to hear it. And with, Nega's train was, they were telling me last night and a few other people with Teddy and G Merrick and all this other stuff. I'm like, shit, I want to know it. And I put what's going on with Teddy, right? And I have every right to know, right? Well, I don't have every right to know, but you know what I mean? So, and if they want to bring it down that low, possibly it's right. Can I buy in? Yes. Right. So, I mean, right. So at the end of the day, I just don't like arguing. And I think that people should just respect other people's opinions and don't put people down. And you get a lot further when you just treat people with respect, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So back at the ranch, do we have any holders? And by the way, whether someone's very smart, intelligent, or very dumb or whatever, it doesn't matter how smart anybody is, right? Because at the end of the day, GME was ready to go on the verge of they were trying to bankrupt GME, right? And Ronan Kitty was looked at as an asshole. Like, what are you, crazy? What are you, dumb? Why would you put all your money in it? Right. But now everyone looks up to him. So I kind of see where BBBY or Bye Bye Baby can be like that picture. And it's the sentiment of retail that can bring something alive, right? Because GME was considered a meme. And then that was so powerful that, globally, people just going in on options, exercise them, and look where it ended up. And then Ryan Cohen, right? And then this is like a big fucking movement here that we got here. And we should all just get along. Huh?
They were able to sell like 8.5 million shares and get, what did they get? Like $1 point something billion.
Yeah, but
right?
They were
so
being
like that was
shorted
like
the entire time. They would have been able to raise the capital needed to avoid Chapter 11, and they wouldn't have had to be selling shares into more naked shorting. But I know
Ryan
you know
Cohen's
that.
Ryan Cohen is not involved with Bed Beyond. He's involved with Bye Bye Baby. That's a different entity, right? So
he's involved with GameStop for sure.
Right, but I get that. But I'm saying with Ryan Cohen, he wants Bye Bye Baby, and that's a different.
Well, we don't know
that. There's a reason he's a creditor, most likely because he does have the bonds. I mean, like, why else would he be listed as a creditor, and why else would
that and the trademark?
Well, that's
a good point.
The Teddy trademark.
Ryan Cohen RT Ventures. We have both his first and last name and his company. So how it makes no sense, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what I said too when I saw the bonds getting super low. Like after, I think it was maybe in January before the February deal. I think the bonds were trading really low, and then the February deal came, and honestly, I was like, okay, if I was going to put any money into it, I probably would have bought bonds rather than buying shares, because it was looking like they'd be able to pay off their bondholders. Like more likely be able to pay off their bondholders.
So what about your scenario, but it doesn't cover necessarily if a large equity holder also then goes out and purchases a ton of bonds, right? And if they wanted to do that debt to equity conversion and literally just forgive that debt, if they have over 50% of the bonds, I believe, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, if there's a majority bondholder, they can make that decision for everybody. We're paying this out at par. These are forgiven. End of story. There's a lot of different options there. So just dealing with the definite of who owns the bonds is just as important of what's going to end up playing out here, I think. I don't know.
And I don't think a lot of people ask the question, why was Teddy registered while he was an insider? I mean, people forget that Teddy was quite literally started while he was an insider at Bed Bath & Beyond. So to say they're not connected, I mean, I don't really even know what to say.
In addition, PP, also that you can't do that when you're in a standstill agreement. You can't be trying to maneuver some competing business as well.
That's key.
Are you talking about the trademark?
Sorry?
Are you talking about the Teddy trademark?
We're talking about Teddy
I'm talking about all the
as a business and everything at that time.
So didn't they file in December 2021 for that?
No. Go look. Yes, no, they did not. It was August. It was actually right after he sold, which would be in
It was like
absolutely not possible with the standstill agreement from a legal standpoint for the competing business. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Says Wednesday, December 22nd, 2001.
Why Teddy was
registered? That's one trademark of many. You don't have to act so smug and then pretend like you're not. Come on.
What do you mean? I just am looking at one of the Teddy trademarks.
It's how you talk. You know what you're doing. Come on. But anyways, yeah, one of the Teddy trademarks. You're not looking at the Teddy
I think
trademarks
that's
that
kind
he
of
filed
a little rude.
in
You don't have to
August.
talk about how I'm talking. I'm literally just trying to have a conversation.
Right.
I already said to you over a minute ago that he filed more trademarks in August, and you're looking at one trademark quite literally. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
The main thing is
you guys were saying that
give her a chance to Google more. Hang on.
Well, here's the deal. Like, the thing is that a lot of these trademarks were filed a couple days after, or I think it was a couple of days prior to the sale. I need to look it up. But it was right around that August time, which Carter is saying is correct. So you have to ask yourselves, why do that? And then continue to have a standstill with the company. Ryan Cohen's standstill ends in March. 1 month later, they go through restructure through bankruptcy. And the main thing is that what people don't realize is that some of the appointed board members had to have been appointed by RC, considering he had the standstill. So to say that he's not invested or he may not want this. It is very, in my opinion, it's very ignorant to think like that, because to think that Ryan Cohen is going to stay with GameStop his whole life is just, I don't even know what to tell you. He most likely wants to step in the path or want to do something like Carl Icahn in terms of being an activist investor. It doesn't just stop at GameStop. So that's what I don't understand, why people fight so much to prove that there is no connection with Ryan Cohen in this company. There clearly is. Not only is Ryan Cohen's first and last name in bankruptcy documents, his company, RC Ventures, is mentioned as well. So far, we've had 3 or 4 mentions in the bankruptcy docs. There's a path that shows he has been interested since the first time he took his position in the company to where we are now. So, I mean, again, you know, and it shouldn't, and I get it, like, this whole thing is like is community. People shouldn't fight. We shouldn't fight with each other. But the fighting comes from when there's statements made that come off as factual when you're not giving like the entire like pie. Like you're giving one slice of of a side without accounting for the other 7 or 8 slices that are part of that cake. So it's like how things are presented are really important. People, I think, should have an opinion on the stock or the company, and I don't think there's an issue, right? If someone thinks the company's going bankrupt, well, it's their choice to believe that, and I don't think we should, fight
I
back
mean,
and
it's in
forth about it,
bankruptcy, right?
right?
No, but I
Well,
mean, the
yeah,
point
but it's in
was
a
like somebody was
restructure.
saying the date of the trademark, right? And the one I was looking at, like, I'll just link it on the bottom if anyone else wants to link, anything on the bottom. I'll just
We
link the
all
one I
are
was
fully
looking at
aware.
from 2021.
I do want to say one thing real quick, because I do want to say one thing. If retail, right, and I'm glad I am having this space right now because I'm seeing a lot of people coming in here, and it really is liberating, right? So just think about this. Ready? We know about Ryan Cohen. He's a worker. He's a fighter, right? And if we're all on the same page, now financial advice is my opinion, right? And if people can just all get along, and I agree, like no one should be bashing me for what I
Right,
have,
we should get along. Yeah, yeah,
right? And I get like, and people say, well, I get people say, well, I want to save you money. I don't want you to fall into the same hole that Joe did. But like, you're not paying my bills. You don't care. Like,
exactly.
no one cares about with it. Like I'm in a, like I'm an adult. If I was if you were my father or my mother, then I can say, okay, you have every right to hit me up on Twitter. But like, it's my investment. Like Roaring Kitty. Okay,
Right.
I'm going to mention this one more time. I'm going to say it one
Yeah.
last time. Was looked down upon, like not down upon, but people like, what are you not? Same thing with me when
They made fun of him. Yeah,
right.
they
And
did.
when I buy when I buy real estate for a living, people all the time, they always say to me, James, what are you doing? Are you crazy? And I'm turning around and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not that mean. I would come back and say, like, go F yourself. But in the back of my mind, like, what the fuck do you really care what the fuck I do? Like, what do you care? Right? Because if I lose money, I'm not going to come back to you, my best friend. Right. And that's how it always is. So I think when business goes on, when you got Ryan Cohen, that Carl Icahns, activist investors, things ain't always going to go the way they want them to go. But no one can sit here on a space call and say it's definitely going to, Ryan Cohen is definitely out of the picture, period. And no one can say that. And what
Yeah, there's
happened
no
last
proof
night,
of that.
there's no proof. And I want to hear it. And I'm open. I have an open mind. I'm not going to say like, oh, what do you got, BBY? I got Jamie. I'm better than you. No, not fucking like that. I will never be like that.
Right.
Anybody can go into Jamie if they want to right now. In fact, you can buy a good dip for Jamie right now if anybody wants to buy a dip right now, right?
I own it too. Yeah, I have
Right. I'm
position
sure
in
there
Jamie.
are a lot of people. I think if we all just get along with each other instead of throwing, digs or whatever in, and I'm
Right.
sick of it, to be honest with you. And one last thing, and I'll let everyone talk. Like people can just the way they speak to people, like they belittle them, and it's like
Yeah.
that turns me off. But that's why if I have a space call, you see it growing and growing and growing. You want to know why? Because if you can get along with one person and a group of people and you treat people with respect, guess what? It's going to expand and expand and expand. And that's the reason why I'm
Yeah.
doing the right thing. All right. That's all I
Right.
wanted to say.
You got a
Okay.
lot of peepees in here right now, man.
Yeah. So
I think the problem is, I mean, and I'm mainly in GME. It was the perfect storm. I mean, the majority of us were gamers. We were like, fuck it, let's get in on something, or at least I was. It was COVID was happening, and then you just had the snowball effect.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I mean, let's be honest, there's not many like fucking Tao people. Like I've never been to Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't go. I mainly don't do the shopping, but it was easier to talk about GameStop with video games versus Taos, or
Yeah.
just house supplies.
Mhm.
And the problem is, it's just been thing after thing with because I was watching it too, and I was tempted to get in, but then when I saw, what happened with Ryan and selling, I was like, well, I guess it didn't go through. It didn't work out, and then you got walked on to bankruptcy. Like I said before, man, I really hope it works out for you guys. It's just it could, and you all could be right, man. It just, the way it played out, it's a risky fucking play, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's the big problem with this whole thing is that it's already been gone through bankruptcy. It's on OTC, and then that's a whole other level because now it's not as easy as it was on Fidelity with just being able to deposit cash and buy. You got to wait for it to settle, and then you got to do limit buys, and so it's
Yeah, that's
just,
right.
I just, like I said, I hope it works out for you guys, and yeah, I just wanted to,
Hey,
to throw
one
that
Yeah.
out there.
And
one
sorry, go
super
ahead.
one quick tip, just because he mentioned the gotta wait till settles. There has been at least a handful of us, and I did it myself too. You just got to call in, and they can kind of get a supervisor to approve it, and they can make that trade for you, even if it hasn't settled yet. So just a heads up to everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I included it's currently in the top of the nest. It's the list of current Teddy trademarks. I was just going to share pictures, but there was too many from August.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
wanted to
I threw
add
the
as
one up
well.
there from 2021, so thank you.
I wanted to add as well, like the thing is that this isn't your typical company goes into bankruptcy, liquidation, it's done. I mean, you have never seen a fucking meme stock go into the OTC market, okay? There is a lot of fuckery that goes on, GME, AMC,
MMTLP.
all of it, right? With
MMTLP.
well, I wouldn't really classify that as like a very like large like meme stock. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's everyone's entitled to their opinion. The three major ones: AMC, GME, Bed Bath & Beyond. Those are the three largest, in my opinion, when it comes down to meme stocks, right? And you have Bed Bath & Beyond in OTC, but here's the deal: you have Holly Etlin, okay, who quite literally did the Winn-Dixie she did the Winn-Dixie restructure. She's been doing this for a long fucking time. She was able to get Winn-Dixie shareholders from their stock from 20 cents to a upwards of like a $9 to $10 buyout. Okay, this person who is involved in this company now, this is a sure shot, in my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor nor am I an expert, but if I can look at someone's history and see what they've done over time, I could say this is probably a pretty decent bet, in my opinion, considering who's on the board. Then you have David Caston, Carol Flatton. I mean, the list goes on with the people who are involved in this stock. And again, this isn't your typical scenario. You can say ML whatever TP, but they don't have the same board, right? That we're talking about. They don't have the same people. Going to surprise a lot of people, and it's everybody's own decision what they want to do with their investment. But you got to at least lay out the facts there. You got to lay out the people's history, the people who are on the board. You have to take that all into account. So,
wait, the board of Bed Bath & Beyond now? Is that who you're talking about?
Some of the few people that I mentioned, like David Caston, Carol Flatton, Holly Etlin, people like that. So just like these are people who are quite literally doing stuff for this company. And to think that David Caston was hired just to put a company through liquidation and be done. I mean, that's just like, a lot of people just don't know the history of some of these people, their backgrounds, the deals that they've done. And there you go. So I mean, that's just my opinion. Especially on the restructure, like this is a very different scenario.
He's compensated entirely in shares as well. Am I not wrong, David Caston?
That's correct. I mean, no one's been able to ever find a salary.
No one can find any dollar amount. We've had lots of bankruptcy dockets to go through, over 1,000 now. 11.
And Holly Etlin's being paid $70,000 a week. So I mean, like clearly, and again, we had this court case yesterday, and that was a huge fucking win.
Hold on, you're saying she's getting paid in shares?
David Gaston.
No, I'm saying she's getting $70,000 a week in cash. So
right.
she obviously has an obligation to do something good for the company. And the thing is that this whole scenario has been so confusing and so there's been so many different loopholes to fall down, and none of it makes sense. And it's hard to say, like how it kind of plays out. But I mean, if you look at the people that are involved, I mean, you can clearly tell this is heading for a carve out or some form of like an acquisition or a buyout. So
yeah, but I mean, isn't that been speculation since like, December basically,
If the
of this
board
like
was even
carve-out
if
merger
so
situation?
so if the board was even nefarious in themselves, Holly fucking Etlin would have never been chosen to be the chief
she wouldn't
restructuring
have touched
officer in the first place.
Right.
Why do you say that?
That doesn't even need an answer. It's so self-evident. If you know anything about Holly Etlin, go do some due diligence on her, and you'll see how much of an all-star she is.
Well, and not knowing, and I'll ping on that too, like not knowing how much other people listening know about the background about Holly, but there's about there's 4 or 5 different Alex partners people that are now either on the board or high-level director positions at BBBY, and there's a clear connection with David Willits being the CEO of Icon Enterprises, but also a managing director at Alex. Like there's several connections.
There's so many
beyond that.
connections. Yeah, you end up in just this loop of connections that it's like, okay, well, we've been speculating about Carl Icahn. Here's your connections, Carl Icahn. All right, we're speculating on RC. Here's your connections to RC. But people want to just look at the hard fact of, well, he doesn't have a position in it. Well, why did he have a standstill for so long? Why did he waste his time talking with them for so long? Right?
I think didn't he have the standstill because of the deal that he made where he put the board members on?
I mean, the standstill could have been ended at any point in time. So the fact
I'm pretty
is
sure that's
that
what the agreement said, and that's why the standstill came into place.
Well, the fact is that they had a standstill and they worked. And if you read through the standstill, it quite literally says it inside of there. RC could have had any meetings at any time with any of the board members at his choosing. At any time throughout those 8 months to 9 months, he had free reign to come in and understand what's going on in the company. So he has an interest, right? He's listed as interested party. He's listed as a creditor.
He's listed as a party of interest, not an interested party. I think that's the confusing party.
Right. Well, I mean, the end goal will be that RC is most likely going to acquire BBBY Baby brand some way or somehow, and they're knocking off their debts, they're selling their leases, so they're doing what they need to do to come out of this restructure. And either people believe in the stock or they don't.
And Carter's key point there too, just like what off of PP just said, is the non-compete is important of the the cooperation agreement. So.
Well, that agreement's
over.
Sure,
all of the 8 months of meetings with insider, he setting himself up to get sued, basically, if he wasn't.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Be able to do anything with Teddy.
All right, I gotta mute everybody because there's a lot of people that have been waiting in line to get up, and I can't bring them up. People are getting removed. My DMs are blown. So hold on. I'm trying to bring people up, and I'm trying to bring up. Mona was the first one, and then Swen, Diamond, and I can't bring them up. So Cardi, can you try bringing them up? People are getting removed. I'm getting DMs like I'm booting them up. I'm not booting anybody out. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I had to send Dizzy.
Why would I boot people out here?
I have a work call right now, so I'm gonna drop. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Bye, Mike.
Hey,
so try to bring, if anybody can bring.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump down so someone else can come up. It's been nice chatting with you guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring them up. It's not even bringing anybody up. So, let's see here. Who came down? Let's see. Mona. Mona was the first one. Let me get Mona come up. So if anybody's not speaking, if you want to come up, because there's people that are down below that want to come up. So Mona, I got you up, right? Is she up? I think she's up. Mona. Yes, it's working now. Okay. Yeah, Mona, I apologize. Listen, I'm hitting that button. I'm seeing the clap button with swearing in.
I'll wait my turn and I'll pop back down once I'm done asking my questions. Yeah. No worries, man. I know it's busy in here. We got a lot of cool people in here, and it's good.
I'm getting DMs like, "What the fuck, James? You kicking me out?" Like, don't tell me what the fuck. And I know who you are. You're requesting to speak, and I didn't kick you out of the space call.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. Yeah, no worries here on my front, pal.
Disgusting.
But
Then they wonder why I don't fucking whatever.
I don't know.
All right, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
So can I clarify my understanding about yesterday's court stuff and the today? So what I read was that they've accepted a bid for the IP rights. And they have a designated backup bid. Does that mean that there were no bids on the entire Bye Bye Baby yesterday? Is my first question. My second question is that doesn't mean that it's really over, or that doesn't mean that the IP is entirely sold and the rest of the assets are what is left up for grabs? And yeah, okay, I'll stop there.
Yeah, the IP was sold to Dream, whatever that one. They're kind of like an e-commerce and kind of operate like Overstock does. So it kind of, like falls into the potential rebranding of the rest of the assets, because all that was purchased was the IP there.
Okay.
Can I ask a question on this topic real quick?
Sure.
Is this IP just for the brand Baby, or does it include the IP for their product lines?
Just for the website and the branding, not for like the lines.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I'm probably gonna bail out, but yo, James, appreciate you running the spaces, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
you
it.
should consider coming on our show, man. We run the PP show, man. We talk about Bed Bath all the time.
Yeah, no, I was joking around. I had the YouTube channel on, and you were saying this is not financial advice. I wanted to give my disclaimer, but no, I listened to it, and
cool.
But yeah, so I was in real quick, PP. I was in the space call last night, and we're talking to Negas, Train, a few other people, and we talking about Teddy G America. And I'm not in the stock, and I'm not gonna bash anyone. Again, I'm not gonna bash anybody for being